Looking Out for Sarah by Glenna Yang. In the early morning light, Perry felt Sarah stirring above him. He raised his sleepy eyelids, looked from his pillow, and waited eagerly for her feet to touch the floor. A wag filled Perry's tail and traveled up his back. His paws landed in her lap. He licked Sarah's chin as she spoke to him in sweet tones. After breakfast, Sarah brushed the itches out of Perry's short, thick coat. He squinted happily when she groomed that place on his back that he never could reach. Perry loved their walks. He held still while Sarah buckled his harness around him. When his harness was on, he was working and had to listen very carefully for directions. Where would he lead Sarah today? "Left, Perry," said Sarah as they strode down the sidewalk. Perry pulled to the side to sniff a tasty crumb. He knew he shouldn't eat on the job, but he hoped Sarah wouldn't mind just once. "Hop up, Perry," Sarah corrected him. Perry snapped back to his work. At the corner, Perry stopped and waited for Sarah's instructions. "Forward, Perry." He checked to make sure no traffic was coming. Although Sarah knew when he was eyeing a bagel, she needed help not bumping into things and avoiding cars. When they got to their favorite grocery store, Perry paused to see if Sarah wanted to go inside. "Okay, Perry." They walked through the automatic doors into the narrow aisles. Perry was hot. He lay down on the cool linoleum floor and enjoyed the smell from the bakery trays. He was the only dog in most stores. Sometimes he saw other dogs tied outside waiting for their people, but he and Sarah were always together. At the post office, Perry waited for Sarah to find the bottom step with her foot. Then he climbed slowly so that Sarah could step up when she felt his harness rise. "Good boy, Perry," she thanked him. His tail wagged gently whenever Sarah praised him. After their errands, they returned to their front gate. Perry looked hopefully for Sarah's okay. Inside their house, Perry lapped a cool water from his bowl. He curled up on the braided rug for a rest before going back to work. Refreshed from his nap, Perry carefully wove their way through the crowd at the train station and allowed extra room for Sarah's guitar. He saw a crumb, but kept on going. Pushing a path through the moving people required all concentration. Perry liked the rocking motion of the train. He tried to get himself under the seat so people wouldn't step on him. When the train stopped, he had to maneuver Sarah around the duffel bags and across the gap between the train and the platform. The train, the guitar, the purple sweater. Perry suspected they were going to one of the schools they often visited. He followed Sarah's directions all the way there and into a large, sunny room. He wagged when he saw the children's faces all the same height as his. Their hands smelled like peanut butter and jelly or tuna fish. Perry lay back quietly while Sarah sang and strummed. Soon she had everyone singing and swaying and smiling. She even sang a song about Perry. He perked up his ears whenever he heard his name. Afterwards, Perry guided Sarah to a classroom. The children asked Sarah many questions. She told them that Perry was 7 years old. He was trained at a guide dog school. Yes, she and Perry once walked from Boston to New York to show the world what a guide dog can do for a blind person. It was a great adventure. Sarah passed around the photos of their walk and said it was okay to pat Perry now. But when Perry or another guide dog was working, they shouldn't pat or distract him. Being patted was Perry's favorite part of school. He snuggled against several laps and enjoyed the gentle hands stroking his fur. He slipped into a dreamy sleep. Perry dreamt about the time he and Sarah walked all day, every day for a month, along country paths and small town sidewalks. He had to keep a constant lookout for tree roots, potholes, and ditches alongside the dirt roads. He made sure to look up high so Sarah didn't hit her head on branches. Each night they slept at someone's house or a motel. Perry savored the smell of mole holes, plush carpet, and greasy diners. His muscles grew strong and his pads grew tough. Crowds of people came to cheer them on. Television cameras whirred softly. Photographers snapped their fingers at Perry to make him look up. Reporters interviewed him. although Perry was not much of a publicity hound. They walked on and on. Together they met and walked with many people, even mayors of cities. The mayors made speeches and complimented Perry. When they reached New York City, he and Sarah received a large, shiny tag. His chest swelled with pride. Perry woke up with a smile. After their school visit, Perry and Sarah joined a friend at a restaurant with wooden booths and soft carpet. Perry's eyes widened when he saw all the crumbs under the table. He quietly took care of them while glancing up at Sarah. Luckily, she did not notice. The waiter brought him a large bowl of water. Perry always looked forward to his daily play session. He found the shortcut, a hole in the fence around the park, and carefully led Sarah in. The smell of the tennis ball made his tail swing widely. Sarah removed his harness. Perry never grew tired of bringing the ball back to Sarah. Each throw was exciting as the last. He bounded over small bushes and flowers and sped through the grass with thundering paws. He loved the feel of the wind flattening his ears, but when Sarah called, "Perry, come!" his tail dropped, his head sagged, and his run turned into a reluctant walk, and he returned for his harness. He panted all the way home. After his dinner, Perry lay down near Sarah at the piano bench. The breeze wafted in. Her piano notes filled the air. Her singing tingled his ears. The sounds rang around and mellow. Sometimes the light of the moon or the sound of the fire engines could move Perry the same way. An uncontrollable howl rose up in his throat. He jumped up and sang one last joyous song with Sarah before heading up to bed. When Sarah pulled up her covers, Perry slithered onto his pillow. The cedar chips inside it smelled like the playground at school today. Sarah's shoes still had a faint aroma of train station, dinner rolls, and grass. He settled his nose on his paw and heaved a contented sigh. It had been a long day looking out for Sarah. The end.